everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a card project for you. This week in the mail, or it will be last week by the time I post this video, but I received my Simon Says Stamp holiday card kit in the mail, and I have to be honest, this is the first kit that I've actually ordered from Simon Says Stamp, and so I'm just kind of playing with my goodies and having a good time. I was really pleased with the amount of items that were in the stamp set, so I felt like it was a really good value. But I am going to show you a card project today, and I'm going to be using this little gnome here. This is the stamp set that came in there, so it's this little gnome, and I've already stamped him with Memento Tuxedo Black ink and colored him in with some Copic markers. I am not an expert on Copic coloring. I am a beginner. I am just beginning, and so I'm not going to show you that part. Maybe in the future, as I improve my skills, I will do that. But I cut him out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is my black Stampin' Up! Marker, and I'm just going to go around the edge of this and just clean up the edges where that white is kind of showing through, and it just helps clean this up and make it look really clean, like I got a perfect cut on the when I put it on the card, because it will be layering against some colored paper, and I think that also makes a big difference. When it's layered against colored paper, you can really see those white edges. So I'm just going to clean this up real quick. So now I have him all cleaned up, and I'm going to be doing a little bit more embellishing on him. So I'm going to set some of this other stuff aside. These are some of the papers and things that I'm going to be using on this card. But I have some Copic markers here, and I am going to stamp the little holly leaves and berries that come on that stamp set. And I'm just using my Memento ink again. And I'm just going to stamp those on, this is a very scrap piece of white paper here, but it's Nina Solar White cardstock. And I'm just going to color it in. I'm not really going to do any shading or anything. I'm just going to color it in with some of the colors that I used on my little gnome already. So I'll just color these in, and then I'll cut those out to place on his hat. Okay, so I have my little holly leaves cut out and cleaned up, and they're going to go on his hat right here, and I'll attach those later, but first I'm going to do a little bit more embellishment on my little gnome here, and I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper. I have my little gnome here on this scratch piece of paper, and I am just going to actually fill this hat portion in here with some Zig two-way glue, and just being careful to stay within that kind of fur hat portion there. Just fill that in. Once I have that nice and coated, then I'm going to bring in this Martha Stewart tinsel glitter in crystal, and I'm going to pour that on that portion of his hat, or all over, I guess. And then I'm going to use my paper, the back of my paper, to kind of press that into the glue. And then I can kind of knock off the excess. And there I have kind of some fun little tinsel glitter on his hat, and it kind of just makes it shimmer just a little bit. So while my gnome is drying kind of over here to the side, I'm going to bring in the card base and all the parts that I'm going to be using. Now these are from the Aspen Frost, it's like a tag collection that comes in the kit, and I'm going to be doing a little altering on these. I'm going to be using this paper here, and I'm also going to be using these edge stickers that come in the kit as well, but I didn't really want to use them stark white, so I'm going to use my Copic marker to color one of those, and I picked the closest color that I had to this blue. I'm going to bring in this 1 3/4 inch circle punch here, and I'm going to slide this circle embellishment or tag in there, and I'm actually going to line it up to where I can actually punch out that Joy to the World, because I'm not going to be using that. I'm going to be covering it up. And you can see that I have that there. It's punched out. And that little white border is not going to matter so much. And then I'm going to use this same punch to punch out a piece of this blue paper. And that will actually go in the center of my die cut there. So I'll set that to the side, and I'm not actually doing any embellishment with that. I'm just going to use it on the card as is. I will bring in these border stickers here, and I think I'll use this. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but they're all different shapes. I think I'll use this larger scallop here, and I'm just going to use my BG10 Copic marker and just color this in. Okay, and I'll set that aside to kind of dry while I work on the card base. I am going to attach, what I've done is, this is an A2 size card. This is the ultra thick white cardstock that comes in the kit. And I've cut about 5/8 of an inch off of there. And I'm going to use this piece of pattern paper that is from the kit as well. And I'm going to attach it to the inside of the card there. So I'll just kind of use the card as my guide and just kind of place it in there. And then I can trim off the excess. Okay, and that's dry now. So I will just take this and I will peel it up as much as I need. That's plenty, yes. And I'm going to just set it right here for now, just because I'm trying to decide if I want it to actually peek out from underneath or go over the top of this piece of pattern paper. And I think I'm just going to have it go over the top, because I think it's going to make it, number one, easier and allow it to show more. So I'll just attach this piece of pattern paper to the front of the card. And then this piece will go right here. Now you're going to notice that there's a little bit of sticker edge hanging off of this, and that's okay. I'm going to use my powder tool to apply a little bit of powder to the back of that. And that will just take the sticky away from that sticker. Okay, and now I can start assembling the card. So this is going to go on the front of my card like this. I am going to use some foam adhesive to put that on there. Okay. And I want to make sure that the hole is at the top so that the hat of my gnome can kind of cover that up. So I'll just use the lines on the paper to help me line that up. And then this is going to go in the center, and I think I'll use two layers of dimensional adhesive to kind of pop that up in the center there. Okay, I'm going to put my gnome on using dimensional adhesive as well. And what I'll do is I'll put one layer behind kind of this section of his body, and then 2 layers kind of behind his hat right here. And that will just give him a little bit more sturdiness on the front of that, since we have 2 different levels going on. Perfect. And then I can add this holly to his hat right there. And I think that the best way to do this is just to use this little 2-way glue pin that I have out here. It's such a tiny piece, and this has such a fine tip. The other thing you could use is some glossy accents to put this on. But I'm just going to give it a good dose of 2-way glue right there and just put it onto the hat right here. And then this is going to kind of peek out from behind here. I am going to, however, add a little bit more of an interesting edge to this. And I'm just going to use the postage edge punch from Fiskars. I'm going to stick it in here to make sure that I'm not going to cut off part of my flourish here so that I can see it. And if you'll notice there, I can see exactly where I'm punching, and I know that there's no white coming off there. So I'm just going to punch that there. And I don't like the way that turned out. So what I think I'll do is just trim that off. Just like that. Kind of slide this behind here, figure out the best placement for it. I may have to lift my gnome just a tiny bit to put this behind there. Okay. And then I can use a couple of layers of dimensional adhesive behind there to kind of secure that in place. And then for my final touch, I'm just going to, I feel like there needs to be something breaking up this blue edge from this paper. So I'm just going to bring in some of this baker's twine here and just kind of wrap it around, and that will create a defined edge. The other thing I could use would be paper, but I couldn't really find the red that I really wanted to use here. So I'm just going to wrap this around instead and create that edge by using the baker's twine. Last step is just going to be to use a little bit of this Christmas red stickles to just add a little bit of shine to, a little more shine, I guess, to his hat and his holly berries here. So I'm just going to kind of just dot that in there. There is my card today using products from the Simon Says Stamp Holiday Card Kit. It's a lot of fun. It's a little departure from me, not something I normally do with the Copic coloring and that sort of thing, but I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.